Do you know why the hot taper is such a popular haircut? It's a low maintenance hairstyle and it blends easily into the facial hair. Stay tuned as we dive into the techniques behind one of the most sought after hairstyles. Hey guys, it's Thomas from the Barber Style Directory, where we provide value to barbers and self-groomers of all skill levels through educational content and haircut tutorials. If you're new to this channel, I'm Thomas. I'm a licensed professional barber. And before we get into this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and the subscribe button. These are the materials that you'll need: a clipper, guard 0 through 2, a trimmer, a comb, alcohol, holding spray, oil sheen, shaving gel, and your razor. Before you begin any haircut, you always want to analyze the scalp, combing everything out to determine which way the hair grows. The first step is to take the trimmer and make your bald guideline. Next, I'm going to take the number 2 guard with the lever fully closed and begin to remove the bulk on the side of the head where I'll be doing the taper. I found that removing the bulk first, it makes it easier for you to see what you're blending whenever you begin fading. Next, I'm going to come right up under that 2 guard with the 1.5 guard, getting a little bit closer. And it's always a good idea to start with the lever open and then close it, because you can always take hair off, but you can't put it back on. This is just the safe method to use. So now that this hair is much lower on the sides, I can see what I'm blending now. So I have the clipper with the lever fully open, and I'm making a guideline almost an inch high. Not quite an inch, but close to it. I want to give myself enough room to create the transition. So I close the lever on the clipper and begin attacking that bottom line. And as I begin to go up, I'm going to slightly open the lever. See, each time I go up, I slightly open the lever. About a quarter of the way each time. So it's really about a quarter of the way and then halfway. Next, I have on the number 1 guard, and the steps with this guard will be lever open, closed, and then halfway. So here I'm going right up under that 1.5 that we debulked with. So now it's closed and I'm blending at the bottom. So just remember, open, closed, and halfway. And as you guys see, this doesn't take long. This is a pretty quick process. Now the lever is halfway and I'm blending in between. And then here I open the lever and I'm smoothing everything down. And actually, I realized in this video, I'm not gonna use the 0 guard. It's also known as the half guard. I'm gonna use the corner of the blade and I'm gonna show you how to do it in just a second. So here I have the lever fully open, and as you see, I'm going to turn the clipper sideways, and I'm only going to be using those far 2 teeth. So I'm only using the edge of the blade. See how I tilt the clipper to the side? Because I'm trying to target specific hairs. If I lay the blade flat, then I'm going to take off too much hair. I'm just using the corner and I'm notching. I'm only attacking those dark spots. So this will save you some time so that you don't have to use the half guard. Just be careful not to go up too high. But you really can't mess up if you use the corner. And right here, instead of putting the 1 guard back on, I simply just use my comb and use that as a guard. I only feed through the comb how much hair I want to cut off. And then now I'm going to blend in the sideburn. It's literally the exact same steps that we just did for the taper. I'm just doing it in reverse. So instead of me blending up, I'm just blending down. And with the sideburns, it's more so just like a feathering technique. It doesn't really take too much to blend in the sideburns. But like I said, we're just doing the same steps. So I'm smoothing down everything with the 1.5 guard. I go with the grain and then I'll come back against the grain. Not to be the dead horse, but you literally just do the same thing that you just did on the top. Remember, start with your lever open and then close it as needed. He wants his beard to get thicker, so I'm not gonna take a lot of weight off. I'm more so just going to get those straggly hairs that are sticking off on the side, and the lever is fully open on the clipper. So don't be nervous when you're doing this. Just open the lever because it's more forgiving. It won't cut off as much hair. Now, when I go up under the chin, that's when I do close the lever, but on the sides, I just leave the lever open. You may not can see it, but it's those small hairs that makes the biggest difference. It just makes the beard look a little bit more neat. So right here, I'm gonna prep the skin for the lineup. So this is just alcohol, and this dries up the skin and it removes any oil from the skin. So that's how you get that natural crisp line. And then right here for the neck taper, we're gonna repeat the same steps that we did on the left side for the side taper. I have the 1.5 guard. Remember, starting with the lever open to remove the bulk, and then you can close it as needed. Here I'm smoothing everything down. Now we have the clipper with the lever fully open, making that guideline again. And then remember to blend this bottom line out. We're just gonna close the lever on the clipper and gradually open it as we blend up. Attacking that bottom line. And remember, we're gonna open the lever 2 times, so about 1/4 of the way and then halfway. Now we have on the 1 guard, and remember with this guard, lever open, lever closed, and then halfway. And as you can see, his hair is very coarse, but it's no problem. You may have to go over the hair a few more times than you normally would on a more loose or straight texture, but nevertheless, you just keep going over the hair until it starts to blend. And then here I'm just using the corner of the blade instead of using that 1.5 guard. And remember, here we're doing clipper over comb. This is just like using a guard, it's just more time efficient. Only cut what you want to feed through the comb. I don't want to cut off too much because I'm not trying to raise the taper. I'm just trying to get that hair to blend. As you can see, there's weight. You're blending basically from skin into bulk, and you have to create that transition. So that's why I'm doing this. Now I'm just smoothing down the hairline. You have some clients that like their hairline taper and then some that don't. However, I feel like it makes the hairline last longer, but it's totally up to the client preference. And then here I'm using holding spray to freeze the hair in place. And then we're gonna proceed with the neckline up. We're not gonna push anything in, we're just gonna follow the natural neckline, and we're gonna just follow the arch around the ear. So you can keep the blade straight until you get to the curve of the ear, and you'll see in just a second. So right here, that's when I transition to using the corner of the blade. You're just using those few edge teeth like a pencil. Just take your time because you don't have an eraser. And you don't want to push this neckline up too high. Like, you don't want it to arch over too much around the ear, because if you take it up too high, when it grows back, it's going to look bad. For this beard lineup, we're gonna keep everything as high as possible. When I'm doing beard lineups, I don't even try to get the lineup as sharp as I can with the trimmer. I really want to create a ghost outline. That way when I go back with my razor, I have something to reference. So as you can see right here, I'm just gonna make a few passes and then just proceed on with the top line up. And as you saw right there, I just stretched the skin. This way I make sure that I don't dig into his hairline. And then for the hairline, a good rule of thumb is just to start in the middle and then work your way either right or left. I just switched trimmers because with his hair texture, I just felt like these trimmer blades would cut his hair better. It doesn't matter which way you work to first. You just do one side and then match the other. And then I have to tap that corner one more time just to make sure we have that 90-degree angle on the side. And before I begin using the razor, I put some shave gel on the skin just to minimize the irritation. So here, this is my first pass. I always make one pass and I'm pulling the skin in the opposite direction that I'm going with the razor. And then you always comb away the residue because you want to get a true line. A lot of people just leave that residue and then when they go home and wash their face, the line is not as sharp. So you want to make sure you get all of that stubble and all of those fine hairs. So I go over the line about 2 to 3 times. And you can see right here, the line is getting more and more refined the more I go over it. And we're gonna go over it one more time just to make sure that line is set in. So no matter how much water or soap, shampoo, whatever he puts on his beard, that line will stay there. This is what one side should look like after you complete it, and then you just do the same thing on the other side. Before I sponge his hair, I just applied some oil sheen and a little bit of water. This is just to make his hair more manageable when I'm going through it with the sponge. And this is the after. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you got value out of this video. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.